Every system has a surface and a foundation. The surface is what people see: payments, apps, balances, transactions. The foundation is what governs behavior, rules, incentives, permissions. But beneath both lies something deeper. The layer that doesn't move money, but moves people. This is the final layer. By the time money becomes digital, programmable, conditional, and unavoidable, control no longer needs to be exercised openly. It no longer needs enforcement. The system has already done its work. Behavior has adapted. Expectations have aligned. Resistance has softened. At this stage, money stops being a tool of exchange and becomes a tool of alignment. The final layer is not financial, it is psychological. Once systems reach this point, they no longer ask what you want to do. They shape what you believe is reasonable to want. Limits feel natural, restrictions feel responsible, compliance feels mature. This is how power becomes quiet. When access is conditional, people self-regulate. When behavior is scored, people self-edit. When transactions are monitored, people internalize oversight. No authority needs to intervene. The system has already been absorbed. Control works best when it feels like common sense. The final layer emerges when money, identity, and behavior fully merge. When your financial profile is no longer separate from who you are, but a reflection of it. Spending history becomes character. Risk scores become reputation. Access becomes worth. At this point, money doesn't just respond to trust, it defines it. The idea of a single score has always existed: creditworthiness, reliability, risk. But those systems were partial, imperfect, and limited. The final layer is comprehensive, continuous, contextual. Every interaction feeds it: where you shop, how often you move, who you transact with, when you hesitate, when you comply, when you don't. The system doesn't need to understand you, it only needs to predict you. Prediction is more efficient than punishment. In this environment, freedom is no longer removed, it is reshaped. You are free to act within parameters, free to choose among approved options, free to express without affecting access. Anything outside that frame becomes irrational, risky, unnecessary. People don't resist the system because the system never announces itself as something to resist. It presents itself as order, stability, safety, progress. The final layer does not look like oppression. It looks like optimization. Optimization of spending, of behavior, of outcomes, of society itself. And once optimization becomes the goal, deviation becomes a flaw. This is where technology completes its role, not as a tool of control, but as a mirror. It reflects behavior back to the individual in the form of feedback, warnings, suggestions, limits, nudges. You are not told what to do. You are shown what works. Over time, people stop asking whether the system is fair. They ask whether they are performing correctly within it. That is the final inversion. The system no longer adapts to humanity. Humanity adapts to the system. At this stage, opting out is no longer a financial decision. It is an identity rupture. To leave is not just to lose access, but to lose relevance, to become unreadable, unscored, unrecognized, invisible. The final layer does not require consensus. It requires normalization. Once enough people accept it as inevitable, questioning it feels naive, dangerous, even irresponsible. And inevitability is the strongest narrative of all. Every generation believes its systems are permanent. That collapse belongs to the past. That refinement has replaced risk. But permanence is an illusion systems use to protect themselves. The final layer feels permanent because it is internal. You don't see it working. You feel it working in hesitation, in self-censorship, in choosing convenience over principles, in accepting limits you would have rejected years earlier. This is the point of no return, not because change is impossible, but because resistance no longer knows where to aim. The system is no longer out there. It is inside the rules you follow without thinking. This is Kiyo Documentary, and this is the final layer, not the one that controls your money, but the one that convinces you it never needed to.